Here we are for the second part. It started raining, but now the sun might pop. The king is shining, and gonna put on the backpack, and we're gonna rock and roll over time. Every time, as you know the drill. So we're just gonna stay a little bit here on the bench, and we're gonna discuss because we started with the discussion of the DRT. So here we are on Mount Royal as my second home. You know that I'm working out, training, and exercising. I'm an ASPE artist, athlete, philosopher, geopolitical analyst, and theorist. Oh yeah, the sun, my pope, the king is shining. So we're gonna drill a little bit, and we're gonna do some gratitude today, of course, for Go Canada, go, go Canada, go. It just started raining, so I said I'm gonna clear the road, and I'm working out with the training, exercising, doing these long vlogs on the mountain. It is 4:04, 44 p.m. and gotta salute the firefighters, the butchers, the bakers, the nurses, the doctors. Go Jasper, go, go Jasper, go, go Jasper, go. Special month of Leo special edition. It is that month of Leo, the lion. And we're gonna go all the way to the top. We are here on the mountain working on the laptop. We can paint this house here. This is on the mountain, Mount Royal. My second home at the Belvedere. We're gonna go round about, and here it is. We can paint this house. Some purple, some red, and some green, and make it yours truly's for yours truly's House of the Dragon. Encourage you all to work out and check out some French poetry here. It is, of course, some French poetry which you gotta check and twist your hips left and right. Gotta give my gratitude, say. Poetically, we'll rock and roll. Grateful, thankful that my rent's paid. Electricity bills paid, got food and coffee, and the sun shining. So, always work out, train, exercise. Always train, work out, train, exercise. Always train, work out, train, exercise. Encourage you all to work out, train, exercise. Grateful, thankful, my rent's paid. Electricity bills paid, got food and coffee. 40 LOV for the Go Canada, go Canada. Always stinging across North America, the collective North American civilization. What's happening with the bakers, the butchers, the bakers, the nurses, the doctors, and the grocery store clerks, and all involved in the production and that distribution of that FOOD food security starts with those bakers, butchers, nurses, doctors, grocery store clerks, and those, of course, involved in the production and the distribution of food. And yours truly, Rainbow Dragon. Always gotta salute truckers on the road, construction workers, they build a building, construction workers, and those construction workers on those steel toes, on those cranes. We gotta salute yours truly, Rainbow Dragon, who rocks and roll BDSM switch 24/7. Always for the bakers, for the butchers, for the nurses, for the doctors, and for those who gonna go in the sun, my pope, the king, the sun. We're gonna go on the sun, in the sun. Let's change a little bit of switch, because I like to get that SUN, my pope, the king, the sun. And here we're gonna work out, train, exercise, and working out, training, exercising has been, is, and shall continue to be my medicine and therapy of choice. That's right here, medicine and therapy of choice. Just met somebody from California. I was born in the USA 3 times, once as a woman, twice as a man, both times. So as a man, served in the United States Armed Forces and in 2 different wars. We're going to discuss the DRT in a bit, because that's where we left off with the DRT. But first, okay, I got to salute Jasper. Those Jasper City, Alberta, firefighters, LOV. Meditating, doing as I would do drills if I would have been on the ground. What to salvage, where to bring the food, and we got LOVR firefighters, finance them a massage therapy session, and it's go NORAD, NATO, Dragon Army Initiative. Rock and roll for the firefighters, those daycare workers, changing some diapers here. If I love coming here in nature. If I love coming here in nature. I love coming here in nature, and of course, coming here in nature gives me a little bit of a meditative state. And this is my second home, and I have Asperger's, so I repeat things twice, 3 times, and I got obsessive interests. And one of my obsessive interests is, of course, working out, training, exercising, and see. It's good as the Pope. Maybe the sun sees all rah. I got that retrograde amnesia, survived COVID, been depressed and suicidal. And 2017, August, September, gonna mark 7 years soon. Across Canada, coast to coast. So that got me out of depression and being suicidal. And see, yeah, I dropped this because I put it on because of the rain. So now it's time to backpack it. Let the backpack a little bit in the sun. And I gotta thank my anonymous friend who's been a friend now because of the money, because I never had any money. So gotta roll it up. I gotta thank her. If I make $1 million, $1 billion, $1 trillion, gonna give her 50%. That's HALF, half. And deserves to be anonymous sister friend, and 7 times richer than Oprah. The number after 6 before 8 is 7 times before 8 after 6 is 7 times richer than Oprah, 7 times richer than Beyonce, 7 times richer than Oprah. 7 times richer than Oprah, 7 times richer than Beyonce, 7 times richer than Oprah, 7 times richer than Beyonce, 7 times. Got love for you, Beyonce. 7 times richer than Oprah, 7 times richer than Beyonce, 7 times richer than Beyonce, Oprah, Beyonce and Oprah, and Beyonce and Oprah, Beyonce and Oprah, Beyonce and Oprah. And 7 times richer than Beyonce and Oprah. And Taylor Swift, I'm a Swiftie, I'm gonna say we're gonna go in the sun and gonna get that hydration, and I'm gonna descend by here, gonna descend for an ascension, and we're gonna descend for an ascension, and we're gonna get that LOV for the firefighters, butchers, bakers, nurses, daycare workers, all involved in the production, distribution of food, you know. And I gotta say right now I'm just financially stressed, and I gotta laugh a little bit because I was asked on my way, and I gotta say I bring me some joy. I'm joyous, and bring me some more joy when I see people working out, training, exercising, people holding hands, hugging, kissing, and couples, and get that LOV. And of course we gotta get that LOV, and we gotta get it for the XYZ, for the XYZ, for the XYZ, and we gotta get it for the love, and for the love, and for the butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors, grocery store clerks, and all involved in the production, distribution of food, you know. And I offer free kisses, free LOV. Somebody don't poke my eyes, you see, got a sunset. Horse, my lord, on the double trouble. We're gonna get it for the rock and roll, for those satellites building up in the sky, for those train conductors, and those, of course, on the train conductors, for those butchers and the bakers, nurses, doctors, grocery store clerks, all involved in the production, distribution of food. All those now, bakers hugging, kissing, and sharing, and give a million charity. If you make a Wall Street, you got some time before it closes, and you know, some time, not that much, but you got still some time before the Wall Street closes. And of course we got to get it on the foundation for the closing, and we got to get it for the foundation as the sun's shining here, my Pope the King, and we got to get it on the drill, and we got to get it on the nose. So it's always 24/7 rock and roll with Asperger's, you know, being an Aspie. Got a double repetition, repeat things twice, 3 times, and I'm obsessed. You just got to let me know. I let people know, and I tell them, because it's not a mental illness, it is a neurological divergent mental condition. So Asperger's, again, is not a mental illness, it is a neurological mental divergent condition. And see those hugging there, holding hands, that's worth defending, carrying on, carrying a weapon for security and defense, and all my protocols. Dragon Army Initiative are fundamentally a call for a public-private partnership, because the collective North American civilizational complex, for the LOV, for those lovers, and those, of course, who gotta make that LOV for that with a T, and of course with the butchers and the bakers and those making some good loving, you know. So gotta watch it here, because of course it rains, so after rain it's slippery, so I gotta not slip and fall, you know. So it's not all about fighting, and sometimes you gotta get that LOV and get that 50-50. Public-private partnership, you know, so we gotta get it for the public-private partnership, man. Get in the sun again, man. Gotta get it for those, man. And, my cousins there, and those cyclists there, getting a little bit of XYZ, and getting a little bit of loving, you know. So now somebody changing diapers. Help yours truly publish some children's books, you know. Being financially struggling, I'm rich, but Asperger's, during the past 45 months, you know, I learned to manage the symptoms, because there's no medication, you know. So there's no medication for Asperger's. I just got to work on the symptoms. The symptoms are repetitive movements, and I repeat things, but I'm great at geopolitics, and dancing is my favorite sport. Gotta get XYZ, and gotta recycle, and gotta get me a little bit of that foundation in the sun, man. Always gotta get that meditation, and super important when you come here, don't pollute. Like this doesn't go. Don't throw that in the forest. That's why I go in the forest, retrieve. This is damaging the squirrels, the rabbits. So many years, more than 7 years in my second home, in this life and in parallel life. So it's super important to recycle it. See, just open here. We got so many, and you put it here. And that's it. You recycle it, and that's it. You know, just recycle it. Just put it in the recycling. No need to make a big deal out of it. Don't leave it in the forest, you know. I got something else also to recycle. Guess I'm going to recycle it later, but nonetheless, just put it in the recycling. Put it in the recycling there, and here you got to watch it, of course, when you get on the drill. And I got a tendency to stare at people, so I don't have to stare that much, you know, because that's Asperger's. It's too much staring at people or at items. So my anonymous friend, who was my friend not because of the money, always lets me know, don't stare, don't stare, don't stare, because, you know, so that's Asperger's symptoms. Once again, Asperger's is not a mental illness. It is a neurological divergent condition. It is a neurological divergent condition. Asperger's is neurological divergent condition. It just makes me predisposed to staring, repetitive movements, and obsessive interests. And my obsessive interest is geopolitics. I wake up in the morning for years and years and years, and I'm an independent geopolitical analyst. The interior Rainbow Dragon, you get that 50-50. And dancing is my favorite sport. Nobody dances like Rainbow Dragon, you know, so that's what I love, you know. So commission, support the DGA Dancing Goddess Army. I want to build the Forgotten Goddess Temple right here. I want to build a Forgotten Goddess Temple. I want to build a Forgotten Goddess Temple. I got to thank those who worked in the 20th century to build all the pipes. Imagine for me to drink, for me, for you, for us, because this is public, to drink water here. This water is clean, is potable, drinkable because of the workers that are past in the 20th century. So do that meditation. So much work just to have water here on the mountain, and atop the mountain there, atop the mountain, and inside here. And this water is potable, it's drinkable. I've been drinking it for more than 7 years, so it's so much meditation. Civilization is a privilege, civilization is a privilege. So I gotta send some LOV and thank you to those who use brains and muscle, to those who build it, the canals to connect it. It's across North America and across, of course, across North America and across Montreal. So much labor in the 20th century and possibly in the 21st century just to drink this potable water. Just meditate a second on that. Just that fact. Think about it for a second. You know? If you think about it, probably gonna get a flash. You're gonna say, "Hey, yeah, it's true. So much work has been done, and we need to maintenance because it's maintenance, right? Sometimes the aqueduct's gotta be changed, and we gotta drill underneath, and then we gotta replace it by plastic, by new improved methods. But a lot of it has been dating from ancient Egypt, ancient Babylon, ancient Rome. The principles of many things have been dating since ancient Rome, roaming there in the past life, many past lives, you know, so many things that are based on those principles, fundamentals, basically, the fundamentals of the pipe layings, you know, to lay that pipe underneath. Those are pretty much the fundamentals which have remained the same. Pipe and connected, and then connected with the aqueducts, you know? So that's what it is, man. I like to do these kind of meditations, you know, on nature. To just be mindful that all the civilization is a privilege, you know. So we gotta get it on the X and on the Y, you know, so we can get the hydration. Up we go again. Workout overtime every time. Looks like it's gonna be some more rains. I don't know because I'm working with a laptop. So the more rains we get, I just gotta be careful not to damage my laptop. So now we're gonna go inside. We're gonna go to the top now. That's what we do. So that's what we're gonna do. Cause that's what we do. That's what we come here to do, rock and roll, meditate, and get that double trouble. So we're gonna go inside by the side where I like to go. Although it's a bit wet, it's more dangerous. So you gotta be on the dangerous side, and gotta be on the dangerous side. Gonna be down the dangerous side, you know. So it's super important to get on the danger and look left and right, you know. And man, look at those beautiful clouds. Sometimes you just gotta look up at the sky, you know, and just appreciate the heavens, you know, the heavens, and you know, I want to build three buildings. Credit kisses by the trains. I got trains of kisses, created from the Forgotten Goddess laying the foundations for the dancing goddess in the dragon kingdom. The dancing goddess in the dragon kingdom is fundamentally a call for a public-private partnership across the collective North American civilizational complex. You know, I'm a philosopher, artist, Aspie artist, and got that rainbow 50-50 being androgynous, pansexual. That's just a part of me. But geopolitics, that's my kingdom, my realm, my domain, my empire. You know, that's part of the curse of Asperger's. We got obsessive interests, so you enter the realm of geopolitics. We're gonna drill and go over time and rewind and go another rewind and go another tour. 20th century, we're gonna discuss empires and whatever the case may be, and we gotta get it on the drill, get it on the drill, get it on the drill. So gotta turn our heads left and right, and gotta get it on the go, and gotta get it right here, you know. So gotta get on in the mountain, in the forest, you know. So the forest, the mountain here is my realm, my domain, you know. So we're gonna be on the domain, on the mountain. So we're gonna go on the mountain, you know, and here we go. Sometimes you just gotta enter differently, and we gotta get it on the effort. See, look at those citizens there getting on the workout. Good for you. They stay on the main road, which is best. You know, this is our trails, you know. This is our trails, you know, so we gotta get it on those trails up. This is a short trail, but it's a trail, snakes, I call them, and we gotta get it on those trails up and down, and you know, we gotta get it on the X and on the white and on the white and on the left, and sometimes we just gotta get it on the sides, you know, so sidelines, and please do not pollute. If you come here, do not pollute, do not pollute, just pick it up after yourselves, pick it up, you know. Pick it up after yourselves and pick it up and put it in the garbage, put it in the bin, 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 and put it in the bin, put it in the bin, and put it in the bin, and that's it, that's all, you know. So that's where we roam to get XYZ, 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 and that's where we go for that XYZ, and XYZ for the left, XYZ for the right, go 49, give some charity, triple the cheerleader salaries, and Wall Street, give some charity. Wall Street, give some charity, Wall Street, and that's what we need to get doing, and we need to get down with the drills, and we need to get down with the XYZ, you know. So here we are, you know, on the sidelines. Sometimes, you know, you heal from wounds, and I've been depressed, suicidal. 7 years ago, I got out of depression. I'm being suicidal. I got out of depression and suicidal. I got out of depression and suicidal. I got out of depression and suicidal. I got out of being depressed and suicidal, you know. So 7 years ago, August, September, gonna mark it. August, September, gonna mark it. August, September, gonna mark it. You know, August, September. Gonna mark it August, September, and I got out of the depression and being suicidal, you know. So that's when I got out. Said so many things. I crossed Canada coast to coast. I said, wow, so many things to see, to do, 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 right? To work out, train, exercise, to train, work out, and to work out, train, exercise, and working out, training, exercising has been, is, and shall continue to be my medicine and therapy of choice, you know. So gotta do a little meditation here, because after the rain there's fresh, so gotta twist my hands left and right, and just gotta twist those hips a little something, a little something twisty, you know. Twist those hips. Oh yeah, I just love, after a little bit of rain here, how the smell is so good. just so good, and fresh air, so I gotta do a lot of cleansing myself, I gotta clean, so I get dirty but get back clean. Rock and roll for the farmers, butchers, hey, strippers, give the truckers some discount, a little something. If I would own a strip club, it would be Rainbow Dragon Dancing Goddess Dragon Kingdom, which, when I say support a dream, is fundamentally a call for a public-private partnership across the collective North American civilizational complex. Whoever wills, pledge your allegiance. Thou art family, pledge your allegiance. Thou art family, pledge your allegiance. Thou art family, pledge your allegiance. Thou art family. That is the SONG, the song Rock and Roll 24/7. North Americans unite. NORAD, NATO, ensure secure freedom. I'm financially stressed. Open for business 24/7. I am financially stressed. Please do not leave stuff like this. Gotta be, put it in the garbage. Put it in the garbage or in the recycling, because this could kill a rabbit. This could kill a squirrel. This could suffocate a squirrel, a chipmunk, and a rabbit, so just gotta put it in those, put it in the garbage, put it in the garbage, put it in the recycling if it goes in the recycling. If it's a bit dirty, well, rather not. And I'm just gonna tie my pants, because when I do here, I gotta tie my pants a little bit, tighten the belt, because of course when you go on my belt rips, and I don't know where's the belt? I think I dropped it, or the belt dropped. The belt, gotta go retrieve the belt. Let's see, where was I? So I gotta retrace the steps. Nothing that I want to go back to. I died of COVID 2020, rebirthing as Adrian Hanna Dragon, and drives the Spanish sacred founder of the Dancing Goddess Dragon Kingdom with trillions of kisses, billions of push-ups. There's the belt. So nothing that I want to go back to, but this belt was gifted by the greatest person I know. Greatest person I know is got a lot of gifts. The backpack, and not the backpack, but the other items. So I'm just gonna tighten the belt and say my meditative here. And if I make $1 million, I'm gonna give her half, 50% to my anonymous friend, who is not my friend because of the money, because I never had any. But here we are in the forest on the mountain. My favorite it's like my second home here on the mountain, it's like my second home, so I love coming here, doing meditations and rock and roll, and seeing people work out, train, exercise, and hug and kiss. And the youth I saw before in the first video, part 1, I saw the youth, so always loving to see the youth happy, joyous, free, and that's what I like to see, the youth happy, joyous, free, and it always gives me some hope, when I see people hugging, kissing, and sharing. When I hear some sharing, it's, hey, you got only 5 minutes left, 5 minutes left, Wall Street 4:30, it's 4:25, so you got only 5 minutes. Buy, sell, trade, futures, give 10% of $1 million. 10% of $1 million is 100,000 divided by 4. You can give 25,000 for food security, 25,000 for LGBTQ issues, 25,000 for environmental causes, 25,000 for environmental causes, LGBTQ causes, and women's sports. And give a little bit to yours truly, Rainbow Dragon, androgynous pansexual rebirthing Adrian Hanna Dragon. You get that double trouble for yours truly to build. Forgotten Goddess Temple, House of the Dragon, and Rainbow People's Palace. Those are the buildings, 3 buildings which I want to build in a 4th dimension. I want to give my anonymous friend a new house, something new, so that's always something which I like to drill, and I always like to work out, train, exercise, and I've been going out a lot, and that's what it is with that. So it's always on the drill now, and it's always on the drill now, and it's always on the drill now, so sometimes we gotta get a little bit of that energy. And I've been depressed, suicidal before 2017 August. What got me out of being depressed and suicidal, when I crossed Canada coast to coast with my anonymous friend. 2017 August, I got the tickets, and September, August, went to Vancouver, BC, and then September we went in Halifax by bus, 3.5 days by bus. That was crazy hardcore. And then we went by And then we went by Halifax by train, you know. So we went by train. So that was excellent. That was a great trip. So that was XYZ, and that was loving. And LOV, you know. Sometimes get that LOV, and we gotta get it on the love, you know. So gotta get it on the X, and gotta get it on the love, and sometimes gotta get it on the LOV, you know, so to get on this XYZ, you know, so we gotta do fighting and some loving also with it, you know, so we gotta get some do fighting and we gotta get some do loving with it, you know, so, you know, being those I just discussed with my cousins from California. I said also it's bisexual in the first video you can see, and I said, well, me playing in the NFL, well now, and she said there's a lot who are open, who are dead but are not out of the closet, but are not out of the closet, right? So there's many in the NFL, NHL also, NBA. There's only one on the open out of the four, right? MLB, there are many. I mean, just take the four, just statistically, there's 6%, right, of millennials. Those born after 1980, those born after 1980 who are LGBTQ, those born after 1980 who are bisexual, gay, or whatever. Like me, I say pansexual, you know, being androgynous, whatever, 50-50. But nonetheless, that is the fact anyway. So, Colin Seaman said I would have probably been one, but playing what we love. I love dancing is my favorite sport. I love gridiron football. Just gotta triple those cheerleader salaries, and I want to lay the foundation for the Dragon Army and the DGA. Fundamentally, when I say my dancing goddess and dragon kingdom, dancing goddess and dragon kingdom, dancing goddess and dragon kingdom, the DGA dancing goddess and dragon kingdom is fundamentally a call for a public-private partnership across the collective North American civilizational complex, or across North America, basically across North America, to be united in a democratic republic. The public-private partnership, my dream, the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom. The empire is fundamentally a call for a public-private partnership, a PPP, a public-private partnership, a PPP, a public-private partnership, a PPP, a public-private partnership, a public-private partnership, a public-private partnership, public-private partnership, a PPP, a public-private partnership across the collective North American civilizational complex. And I don't know if there's going to be a storm again, but now I'm going to discuss the DRT again, and we're going to get together a little bit of the hydration and make sure that I get ready to close it. If we're going to do a second video maybe, or a third one, because this is the second for the day. So going to discuss the DRT. And I gotta say, of course, that the DRT, of course, comes from me being cursed with Asperger's, you know, getting obsessive interest. My obsessive interests are, of course, geopolitics 24/7, the study of geopolitics, and gotta get those studies of geopolitics together with dancing, fitness, and sports. And, you know, again, Asperger's is not a mental illness. It is a neurological developmental mental condition. Asperger's is not a mental illness. It is a neurodivergent mental psychic condition. So Asperger's is not a mental illness. It is a neurological mental psychic divergent condition. So just makes me predisposed to obsessive interest. And that's what it is. Be obsessed about certain interests and topics. So those are my obsessive interests and topics, and of course we are obsessed about certain topics and interests. Mine is geopolitics and is geopolitical studies for years and years and years. I wake up, I do geopolitical studies, analysis, interpretation, and theorizing, because I'm an analyst and theorist, and I gotta say that I predicted the current global situation. I predicted it in a general manner back in 2019. I predicted the current situation which is unfolding in a general manner about the geopolitics, the geopolitical situation which is unfolding now. I predicted it back in 2019. The current geopolitical situation which is unfolding in a general manner, I predicted it back in 2019. So I did an in-depth analysis, as I've been doing and writing papers and theoretical papers, mostly about the defense in emergency scenario, defense for the continuance of the civilizational complex of North America, or the North American civilizational complex. My titles have long, sophisticated titles, and we tend to have those tendencies, Aspies, you know, maybe That's why I got retrograde amnesia. Maybe because of that, I suffered a lot of abuse when I was younger, but because I got RA retrograde amnesia, I have blackouts of memory. So I remember, of course, moving. I'm defensive. I just play defense. You know, I probably got a lot of trauma, whatever the case may be, trauma. But I'm joyous. In the past years, I conquered depression, conquered COVID. Was like death, pestilence, and disease. COVID was like death, pestilence, and disease. COVID was like death, pestilence, and disease. Like death, pestilence, and disease, COVID, and you know, I've conquered COVID, and I've suffered struggle, and here I am today, joyous, willing for light, life, and love, and healing, and reconciliation. Sometimes we gotta reconcile, you know, reconcile, and you know, it takes a little bit of that XYZ, and my black brothers and sisters, you know, 13.3%, 13.4%, 13.3% of the North American collective civilizational complex, of the complex of North America, the complex of North America. With kisses and hugs, I put on the table, same thing, you know, kisses, hugs, and some good rock and roll rap. When I rap for the farmers, butchers, train conductors. I gotta mention the farmers and the butchers and the bakers, daycare workers, and you know, those nurses and the doctors in my songs, whether rock and roll or rap, whatever the case may be, and LOV to the firefighters, you know the drill. So back what I was saying, of course, is that with all the scars that I do have, and encouraging all to work out, train, exercise, and today just financial stress. Today is just financial stress. Today my only stress is financial, but you know, I'm joyous, and you know, my mental health begins with gratitude, and I know my strengths. Being an ASPE, I've lost employment during the past years, many I had, and you know, people misunderstand it, and it's often misunderstood. We're demystifying it more and more, but you know, it's not a mental illness again, and we just have obsessive interests. We repeat things, and we have a routine, and my routine is working out, training, exercising, dancing, and geopolitical analysis and theorizing. And I'm an artist, philosopher, geopolitical analyst, and theorist who has predicted, in a general manner, the current geopolitical situation. And I have my own theories, which is mostly formulated, has been for years and years and years, in what I call, of course, the North American Collective, or the protocols for the North American Collective Civilizational Complex, the protocols and the Trinity of theories, the DRT debt refusion theory, the DRT debt refusion theory, DRT debt refusion theory, the DRT debt refusion theory, the CIT citizen integration theory, and the democratic fusion theory, that Trinity of theories, to be, of course, implemented via that fourth dimension, and that fourth dimension is LOV, love. So you got the CIT citizen integration theory, the DRT debt refusion theory, and the democratic fusion theory, that trinity of theories, to be implemented via love. For the North American Democratic Republic, for the dream, the dancing goddess, and the Dragon Kingdom, this Canadian Quebecer was born 3 times in past lives in the USA. That way, twice served, imposed 2 different wars. We're going to now discuss the DRT, the debt refusion theory. Super important, because this comes out of me being cursed with Asperger's, and that makes me predisposed to study certain topics or be obsessed about certain topics. And my topics of interest are, of course, the study of civilization studies, and geopolitics. So the DRT, what is the DRT? The DRT stands for debt refusion theory. It is, of course, my DRT debt refusion theory, of course, it also includes monetary integration theory. So monetary integration theory is, of course, what was done in the European Union. In the European Union, of course, the French got rid of the franc, the Italians got rid of the lira, and of course the Italians got rid of the franc, the Italians got rid of the lira, the French got rid of the franc, and the Germans got rid of the Deutschmark. So many countries got rid of their old currencies, and of course they created the ECB, standing for European Central Bank. So my DRT theory, the debt refusion theory, also includes what's called as monetary integration theory. So my DRT standing for debt refusion theory, the DRT debt refusion theory standing for DRT debt refusion theory, for debt refusion theory stands, of course, for the D for debt, R refusion, and theory for theory, and of course it includes monetary integration theory, which is exactly what was done in the European Union, which is exactly what was done in the European Union, by the creation of the central bank, 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 by the creation of the central bank of Europe. So monetary integration theory is creating a new currency, integrating different central banks of different nation states into a common central bank, and that's what the Europeans did, the European Union. Some have retained a dual currency system, but most have the euro. So my DRT, of course, includes that theory, which we're going to do, so I'm going to discuss, and I got to say that it is the only solution. 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 It is the only solution now. 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 The DRT, standing for debt refusion theory, for debt refusion theory. So debt refusion theory, we're going to take all the theories, and implemented the DRT, the debt refusion theory. So we're going to take all the public and the private debt. We're going to take all the public and the private debt. We're going to create, of course, we're going to take my 10,500, your 10,500, coast to coast, ocean to ocean, and we're going to create a new currency. The new currency, of course, is going to be called whatever they call it, but we're going to create a new currency called the UE. So, of course, we're going to create the currency, of course, which we're going to call the euro. So we're going to take all the public and the private debt, all the public and the private debt, all the public and the private debt, all the public and the private debt. So my 10,500, yours, my 10,500, your 10,500, and ours and yours and ours and yours. So we're going to create a collective currency. So we're going to take all the public and the private debt, my 10,500, my 10,500, my 10,500, and we're going to, of course, create a common currency. And that currency is going to be called the UE. The UE. So all the public and the private debt. So my 10,500, my 10,500, my 10,500, my 10,500, your 10,500. So my 10,500, yours, coast to coast, ocean to ocean. My 10,500, yours, all the Canadians, Quebecers across North America. I'm speaking for the North American Collective. So my 10,500, look at the beautiful yellow flowers. So my 10,500, yours, ours. All the public and the private debt. We're going to have to do the conversion because the United States dollar still is the currency of choice for world trade, international business, global finance. So due to that fact, we're going to have to do the conversion to do the conversion to do the conversion. So we're going to have to do the conversion for the euro, the Canadian dollars. We're going to convert it, of course, the Canadian dollars. We're going to convert the Canadian dollars into US dollars because the United States dollar still is the currency of choice for international finance, global business, world trade, and tourism. So we're going to have to do that conversion. So all the public-private debt, Canada coast to coast, my 10,500. And I say that this is the only solution because now we're paying more than double. So we pay the interest now today, this 2024, we're going to pay 46.5 billion, 46.5 billion, 46.5 billion, 46.5 billion, 46.5 billion, 46.5 billion. We paid 20.3 billion, 20.3 billion times 2 would have been 40.6, 40.6, 20.3 would have been 40.6, 40.6, 40.6 billion. That's what it would have been. So now we're doing 46.5, 46.5, 46.5 billion. A billion is 1,000 million, 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 a billion is 1,000 million. So that's what we're gonna pay. That's what we're gonna pay in terms of interest. In terms of interest that we're gonna pay, in interest that we're gonna pay, in interest that we're gonna pay. 46.5, 46.5, 46.5, 46.5 billion, 46.5 billion, 46.5 billion. So we now paid 20. We paid 20.3. We're gonna pay 46.5, 46.5, 46.5, 46.5. Right? So that's what we're gonna be doing. 46.5. So we're gonna be taking all the public and the private debt, public and the private debt, public and the private debt. So my 10,500, my 10,500, my 10,500, yours, ours, yours, ours, your ours. My 10,500, yours. We're gonna add it all up, convert it to US dollars, and that money will be the initial money supply for this new central bank, which is gonna issue a new currency called the UE. The UE stands for Universal Exchange Unit, Universal Exchange Unit, provided by biometrics. That's how I'm calling on my let's go red mushrooms on the mountain. We got red mushrooms on the mountain. We got red mushrooms on the mountain. So that's what I'm calling him, astrological brother Scorpio. Bill Gates of Black Stone, Black Cock, and Black Rock and Black Stone are two different ones. Is not a Scorpio Larry thing, but just to say that we need the public and the private financial institutions. It takes both the public and the private for this DRT, my DRT, which is the only solution now, the only solution in the 21st century that I present to you due to the curse of Asperger's. I studied it and I know to be as a fact that is the only solution, the DRT. There's no other solution, brothers and sisters, but the DRT, the debt refusion theory, for the creation of the UE, for the creation of the universal exchanges. So we're gonna take all the public and the private debt. So my 10,500, yours, ours, and we're gonna, of course, look, another red mushrooms there. Red, my favorite color. That's what I said. So we're gonna take all the public and the private debt. We're gonna refuse it. All that money will finance the initial bank money for this new central bank. The initial money supply. It's gonna be all the public and the private debt. All the public and the private debt. All the public converted to US dollar. And that initial money, we're gonna create a new currency like they did in Europe. So we're gonna call it the UE. U dot Universal E dot Exchange Unit. Universal U dot Universal E dot Exchange Unit. U dot E dot Exchange Unit, the Universal Exchange Unit. So we're gonna create the Universal Exchange Unit, the U dot Universal U dot Universal U dot Versal E dot Exchange Unit. We're gonna create the Universal Exchange Unit, right? So that's gonna be based by biometrics or whatever the case may be. And with all that money, we're gonna be able to mass finance citizens to work out, train, exercise, mass finance reconstruction, mass finance the infrastructure building. And here we're gonna build the Forgotten Goddess Temple, Forgotten Goddess Temple, Forgotten Goddess Temple, like 3 stories high, 7 stories high for tarot reading, dream interpretation, face to face with the House of the Dragon, with the House of the Dragon, pyramid scarlet, red, crimson here. All I need is a pyramid, 3 rooms, sleeping quarters, whatever the case may be. So that's how we're gonna be new to be doing here with the Forgotten Goddess Temple, face to face with the House of the Dragon. We're gonna be able to rebuild a lot of infrastructure with all that money. We're gonna be able to rebuild so much infrastructure. Can you imagine, with all that money, we're gonna be able to rebuild so much infrastructure. We're gonna be able to build so much infrastructure with that money. We're gonna be able to build so much infrastructure with that money. All that money, the public and the private debt, which is gonna finance a new central bank in Europe. We're gonna finance all that money. Is gonna be the initial money supply for a new central bank, just like they did in the European Union, where we call it the North American Integrated Central Bank, to issue the UE, U dot Universal E dot Exchange Unit, preferably by biometrics. That's what I'm calling on all Facebook institutions, the Google, the tech, fintech, PayPal. I never had a problem in more than 7 years. I never had a problem with PayPal in more than 7 years. So I got my first donation. Shout out to that fellow Asperger's who donated $25.44. I'm open for business 24/7. I'm working with a laptop, and I believe my theory is best where we are now for the North American Civilizational Complex, for the complex of North American civilization, or for the what I call the collective North American civilizational complex, the collective North American civilizational complex, or the complex of North American civilization. And here I can put a little bit of workout here, and do some push-ups, do some drills, and reverberate one more time the discussion surrounding the DRT. So the DRT, of course, stands for Debt Refusion Theory. It is my own theory, and it is the only theory, of course, to be implemented, and of course, the only theory to be implemented for the collective North American civilizational complex is my theory called the DRT, stands for Debt Refusion Theory, the DRT, debt refusion theory. It also includes monetary integration theory, and monetary integration theory is exactly what was done in the European Union, So the Europeans created a new central bank, the Europeans created a new central bank, the ECB, and of course the Europeans created their bank there. And we're going to create the bank here, but with the DRT, to issue the UE, Universal Exchange Unit, based on the US dollar. We're going to set an interest rate level of 10%. So it's going to be 10% maximum interest. So there's not going to be more than 10%, is not going to be more than 10%. Maximum, it could be 3.33, 7.18, 4.18, whatever, 6.1, whatever the number may be. Below 10 by principle is going to be below 10%. With all that money, we're going to be able to finance the infrastructure rebuilding, all the infrastructure rebuilding, and we're going to have a part 3 because it's starting to rain again. So here we are, the Forgotten Goddess Temple. That French is going to be a little bit of prevention. We're going to have to square it up here and just finish up early, but we're going to discuss, of course, the DRT, the debt refusion theory for the creation of the UE, the DRT 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 for the creation of the UE, the debt refusion theory, the debt refusion theory for the creation of the universal exchange is the only solution. Biometrics, by biometrics, of course, the hand, and creating a whole currency like we have today, that is the only solution. And it's starting to rain again. I didn't see the rainbow, but after the storm comes the rainbow. After the storm comes the rainbow. We need a little bit of rain, and I'm going to do a little bit of flexing, but I'm excited to present, due to the curse of Asperger's, I'm going to present on the table the debt refusion theory, the DRT, the debt refusion theory, on this month of Leo special event, month of Leo special March, month of Leo special Dragon March, and going to be working out a lot this coming weeks is the month of Leo started. So salutation to the Leo, Scorpios all. It takes all to tango. So the debt refusion theory, we're going to create a new currency. We're going to take all the public and the private debt of North American countries, Canada, US, Mexico. If they will Haiti, but Canada, US, North American centric. I'm discussing this theoretical philosophy to be implemented. So we're going to take all the public and the private debt, my 10,500, your 10,500 hours. We're going to put it in, integrate it, and we're going to, all that money, convert it, Canadian dollar debt to US dollar debt, Mexican peso debt to Canadian to US dollar debt. All that money will be the initial money supply for a new central bank, just like in the European Union did, and we're going to do it. It's been discussing since the 80s for the amoureu. We're going to create the UE, universal exchange, because that's what money is. To buy, sell, it's an exchange unit. The UE, in French is the same, UE. So we're going to do that. We're going to create the UE, universal exchange unit. We're going to do the universal exchange unit, create the universal exchange unit, set an interest rate level of 10%. With all that money, we're going to be able to mass finance citizens to work out, to train, to exercise, to work out, to train, to exercise, to work out, to train, to exercise, to work out, to train, and to exercise, to work out, to train, to exercise, and to mass finance rebuilding of infrastructure, saluting the firefighters, the butchers, the bakers, the nurses, the doctors, the grocery store clerks, all involved in the production, distribution of food, the firefighters, butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors, grocery store clerks, and all those involved in the production, distribution of food, production, distribution of food, salutations for world peace as well, the DGA, Dancing Goddess Army, Public-Private Partnership Institution for the 20th century, called the creation thereof, with the Dragon Army for security and service, integrated with blah blah blah, all institutions, organizations, with all institutions, organizations, and to be for security and service, institutions and organizations, for defense, environmental harmony for defense. We're gonna play that D, coast to coast, ocean to ocean. We're gonna play that defense. Coast to coast, ocean to ocean, North Americans unite, coast to coast, ocean to ocean. We're gonna play that defense like I'm defending Hawk, calling for the North American Hawk, Hawk to build more satellites to be able to intercept, open some mountains and build like more Cheyennes, like the headquarters of NORAD, and of course open the headquarters of NORAD, the NORAD headquarters, and we're gonna get that drill, of course, to get it for the Hawk, HAWK, to get it on the XYZ for the Hawk. HAWK for the Hawk, of course, together with the Northern Scorpio Operation. Saluting the firefighters, butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors. Raining a little bit, so we're gonna have to drill it up, and just have to do some stretching, and we're gonna get, of course, on the XYZ, and we're gonna get it on the LOV. So we're gonna get it for those lovers, butchers. We're gonna put on the glasses, and do a third video. We're gonna go do some more hydration and run a little bit in the forest with it. So that's all we're gonna be doing, because I don't mind me rain. I just gotta put a thank you to my anonymous friend, sister, if I make $1 million, I'm gonna give her 50% half, and getting me a nice raincoat. Got a raincoat, man. Thank you. And this one also gotta put it on now. See, before I forget, because It's gonna need that rain, so I gotta put the raincoat and the cover. But see, you got this, I got that. So it's raining in the forest on the mountain. I don't mind rainstorms, lightning, and 4 seasons, minus degrees in the minus, and whatever have you. We played that defense, Maybe we're gonna go throw some footballs and throw some footballs at the top. Let's go. It's a nice pyramid here, so it's very heavy. Well, very heavy for some. It's like 45, minimum 45, maximum 70 pounds. It's like, I don't know how many pounds, but it's minimum 45. So this I'm going to put afterwards. So I'm just going to pause it here and